So let's jump right into this. Today, we're uncovering the hidden rule that wealthy people use to ride the lone tiger without, getting eaten alive in the process. In this explainer, we're going to break down the cold, hard math and honestly, the psychological traps of borrowing money. We are really zeroing in on this life-saving concept called the 30% safety rule. This is your absolute ultimate armor to prevent those nasty debt traps and actually ensure your business grows rather than just burying you under a mountain of stress.
We ever wonder why loans make some people absolute millionaires while leaving others completely penniless? The answer actually isn't luck, and it's definitely not about having the right connections. It all boils down to one fundamental choice. Do you approach borrowing using cold, hard calculations, or do you let emotional impulses take the wheel? It's basically the ultimate battle of the calculator versus the ego. Whoever wins that fight, that determines your financial destiny.
Think of it like this. A loan is literally like a very sharp knife. A skilled doctor uses that knife to perform surgery to save lives, right? But a robber uses the exact same tool to take lives. The bank's money isn't inherently evil. It's all about whose hands that knife is in. If you don't understand the hidden traps, the processing fees, the relentless compound interest, those rigid repayment schedules, well, that borrowed money is going to slowly consume you before you even realize what's happening. Okay, section 1. 2 borrowers, 2 destinies. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. Picture this. We have 2 friends from the exact same neighborhood, Anis and Hassan. They both walk into a bank and both manage to take out a 1 million taka loan at a 10% interest rate to kickstart a business. Exact same starting line. But they are headed for completely different destinies. Let's look at Anis first. He's our emotional borrower. He takes 400,000 taka of that borrowed money and just immediately blows it on flashy decor, these expensive false ceilings, and literally a massive royal chair for himself. Why? Because he's terrified of what will people say. He is buying status with debt. But then you have calculating Hassan. He spends absolute zero on decor. He just builds simple, functional racks out of basic materials. Because he knows pretty walls do not generate revenue, products do. So, thanks to his ego, Anis only has 600,000 taka left for actual sellable inventory. That severely limits what he can even offer his customers. Hassan, on the flip side, drops a massive 800,000 taka straight into his inventory. By buying in bulk, he immediately locks in wholesale discounts, meaning he's literally on the profit side from day one. Plus, and this is a huge tactical move that's going to save his skin later, Hassan stashes his remaining 200,000 taka in a totally separate account as an untouchable emergency backup fund. Which brings us to the most dangerous part of borrowing money, the part Anis completely ignored. Section 2, the merciless math. Look, the math simply does not care about your feelings, how pretty your shop looks, or your excuses. Crunch the numbers with me. A 1 million taka loan at 10% interest, spread over 5 years, that results in a fixed monthly payment, an EMI of exactly 21,250 taka. Whether your business is absolutely booming or completely tanking, the bank demands that exact payment on the table on the first of every single month. No extensions, no passes for a slow week. 21,250 taka. Let's actually put that into perspective for Anis. If he's selling hardware with a standard 10 to 15% profit margin, he needs to sell over 200,000 taka worth of goods just to cover that one EMI payment. But wait, we got to factor in his 10,000 taka rent, the electricity, his staff. You add all that up, and Anis actually needs to sell 300,000 to 400,000 taka worth of goods every month just to survive. For a brand new business, I mean, how is he realistically supposed to climb that mountain? So what happens around month 3, when Anis's pretty but empty shop doesn't have the inventory to pull in real customers? He misses a payment. Step 1, the bank starts calling. The pressure is on. Under that immense mental torture, Anis panics. Step 2, desperate for a way out, he turns to these rigged betting apps, just praying for a quick cash miracle to save his pride. Step 3, the algorithms do what algorithms do and systematically drain whatever cash he has left. He loses everything, spirals into debt, and ultimately he's forced to sell his family's land just to clear his name. It's a total tragedy. Now, let's look back at Hassan. Hassan had to endure those exact same early, painfully slow months. His first few months only brought in about 10,000 taka in profit, which wasn't even close to covering half his EMI. But Hassan didn't panic. He just calmly used that 200,000 taka backup fund he so brilliantly set aside to seamlessly cover the gap. That bought him the most valuable asset in business, time.
6 months later, his deep, discounted inventory really started moving. Sales naturally scaled up, and boom, he paid off the entire loan in 5 years. He didn't just survive the loan titer, he completely tamed it. But hey, it isn't just businesses where emotional borrowing ruins lives. Let's jump to Section 3, the real estate trap. This one is an absolute wake-up call. People routinely borrow millions to build this massive village house, dreaming that effortless rental income is just going to cover the cost. But let's look at the reality. If you borrow 5 million taka for a rural house, your monthly EMI hits around 55,000 taka. And rural rent? Even if you're incredibly lucky, you might pull in 20,000 taka a month. That leaves a massive monthly shortfall of 35,000 taka that you have to bleed out of your own salary. You are literally, voluntarily, putting financial shackles on your own feet for a building that's only going to demand more maintenance costs down the line. So, how do we stop acting like Anis and start acting like the wealthy do? Let's move to Section 4, the wealthy borrowing formula. The formula wealthy people use when playing with other people's money is actually beautifully simple. Your return on investment must strictly exceed the interest rate. In plain English, if the bank charges you 10 taka in interest, you only ever borrow that money if you have calculated with total grounded certainty that it will help you earn 15 taka. You give the bank their 10, you keep 5 as pure profit. If you calculate you're only going to earn 8 taka, borrowing is literally like hitting yourself in the foot. Just don't do it. The math has to work before you sign a single thing. And that brings us to Section 5, the absolute core of this entire explainer. This is the ultimate secret to staying safe and ensuring your business actually grows. It's the framework Hassan used, and it's called the 30% safety rule. 30%. Seriously, burn this number into your brain. No matter how huge your business is or how insanely confident you feel about next quarter, your monthly EMI should absolutely never, ever cross 30% of your business's monthly net profit after all expenses are paid. If your loan payment breaches that 30% threshold, you are walking into a minefield completely blindfolded. Let's see how this breaks down in real life. If your business nets exactly 100,000 taka a month in pure profit, your absolute maximum EMI cap has to be 30,000 taka. That leaves a massive 70,000 taka slice of retained profit that the bank can't touch. Why is it so absolutely crucial? Because life happens, right? By capping your EMI at 30%, a sudden illness, a weird economic downturn, or just a bad month of sales won't instantly bankrupt you. You've built yourself a massive, life-saving buffer. Now here's a harsh reality check. Bank managers, they know this 30% rule inside and out, but they're absolutely not going to tell you about it. Why would they? Banks are businesses. Their main goal is to get you to borrow the maximum amount possible so they can maximize their interest earnings and hit their branch targets. You cannot rely on the bank to tell you what's safe. You have to rely on your own calculator and your own merciless research before you ever step foot inside their lobby. Always, always remember this old banking saying. Before signing the paperwork, you're a king. They want your business, they offer you tea, they cater to you. But the exact second you sign your name with the bank's pen, you become their subject. You are bound to their terms, their deadlines, and their relentless pressure. Look, loans are not villains if you calculate your capacity using the 30% rule, but they are a complete financial death sentence if you borrow based on emotion or vanity. So the big question is, are you going to be the king with a calculator or the subject who let their ego rule? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, while you're there, vote on what we should dive into for our next explainer. Option 1, should we expose the dark, blackmailing tactics of Play Store loan apps? Or option 2, should we explore genuine, zero-investment side incomes you can start today? Drop a comment, cast your vote, and remember, never ride the lone tiger without your armor. Always do the math. Until next time, stay sharp.